Lobbycast. I like that.
We're recording in a van down by the river.
I will probably edit that out.
Yeah, well, with me constantly have fun.
Quote Brad Pitt, what is in the box?
Am I the only one that's impressed that Brendan Fraser still gets work?
All right. It's all you, man.
All right. Hello, and welcome to the Lobbycast, the official podcast of Rockhammer Hold.
Indeed. Rockhammer Hold Central, the kitchen. Previously, Rockhammer Hold the basement.
I think Rockhammer Hold is still just the basement.
Yeah, I think you might be right. So
Yeah.
We'll have to come up with something different.
This is probably LOD East.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
So, wherever we are coming at you live from, hello?
Hello. It's episode 360. It's January something or other, 23rd.
Yes.
It's January 23rd.
It is.
So happy January 23rd, Erin.
Happy January 23rd to you too, Geoff.
Why, thank you. Do you have some news for our friends out there?
A few bits here and there.
Bits and or pieces?
Bits and or pieces. I think for starters, probably address Glenn Frey. Glenn Frey passed away of the Eagles, known for his musical and songwriting abilities, passed away at the age of 67. He is not British. He did not have cancer, but apparently the unfortunate march continues. So that's a sad loss for the music industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been contributing a lot for a long time. So we were sad to see him go.
Sure. You an Eagles fan?
You know, not as much as some people, but I mean, really, if you grew up
You know
in
the
America, then
you are aware of the Eagles.
You are aware of the Eagles, and they're a part of the soundtrack of your life. And there's some songs
sure.
that they had that are just so unique. I mean, Hotel California is one of those moments in music that had never really happened before and is not going to happen again. So, Mr. Frey, we're sorry to lose you, and we're sorry for the loss that gave everybody, not only people that love him, know him and love him, obviously, but the rest of us that enjoyed his work.
There you go.
So, one other bit, a couple other bits I had for those Doctor Who fans out there. You may have heard Stephen Moffat has made it official. He is leaving the show.
He threw down Ninja Smoke.
He did, and it's very dramatic Ninja Smoke, as is his way, and is leaving. They are actually bringing on Chris Chibnall is coming on. Chris is best known for Broadchurch. Those of you that are also perhaps David Tennant fans have seen this British TV show about the impact of the murder of a small boy on a small town. And so I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens. I know some people are, crying and wailing, and that's a phone ringtone, guys. Apparently Geoff has incoming notices that he needs to attend to.
Nope. Done.
Neat. Now that I've completely given him shit for that, my phone's probably going to go off too. But I know some Doctor Who fans are wailing, and there's the tearing of hair and rending of garments and all of that because it's the end of an era. But I am genuinely interested to see what Chibnall brings to the table. And I think Stephen Moffat really tried way too hard to make the series the Clara show the last season or so, and that didn't sit well with some fans. So it'll be good to see what happens.
I don't know what a Clara is.
It's true. He doesn't. He's just going to smile and nod and fiddle with his pen while I talk about this. So, see? Isn't he good? Thank you.
So good.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens. The really big downer for me is there aren't going to be any new Doctor Who episodes this year other than a Christmas special. They are on hiatus until January of 2017. So
while they're sorting out their showrunner situation.
Yes. So we will have to wait a while for a new episode. And one other bit of news in the ball-smackingly bad idea category of movie news. The news just dropped. Some of you may have heard that I believe TriStar and Jim Henson Company are in talks together to make a new Labyrinth movie.
Why does there need to be a new one?
There doesn't need to be. Hence the ball-smackingly bad idea, especially since we're not even a fortnight out from David Bowie's loss.
Yeah.
So much of that movie was about what he did with the Goblin King. I just can't imagine what they think they're going to do without that. And as this guy and a few other people know, I'm not one of those people that's opposed to all reboots and remakes.
No.
And I think good stories deserve to be told and retold. However, this one just feels like a really bad idea. I can't imagine
That's
why.
odd. I hadn't
they're
heard
doing
that, but that's not great.
It's not. And what we can hope is that they just either come to their senses or the whole thing falls through, because at this point they haven't even figured out if it's going to be a remake, a reboot, a prequel, a sequel. They don't know what they're going to do with it. They just know that they got Nicole, what's her name? Hang on. One moment while I consult my angry notes. Nicole Perlman, who is best known for most recently penning the script for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. I have no issues with the people they brought on board for this project. I have an issue with the project itself.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Since they're being really vague and clearly don't know what they're doing yet, they got the bad idea. They haven't put the bad idea into effect yet. So we can hope that it falls through. That's my hope.
Okay.
No offense to Jim Henson and company. I love you guys, but seriously, stop.
Just stop it. Awesome.
That's what I've got.
Okay. I have a few things here. Speaking of rebooted things, The Exorcist may be coming to TV as a series.
I saw that.
It could work as a series. Just
Sure.
Going around, having adventures with possessed people.
With a young priest and an old priest and something.
I don't know how that goes, but yeah, something like that.
Something about possession, perhaps.
Something about possession. I don't know. It could work as a series. I mean, we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
It depends on where it lands. If it lands on network television, it's probably not going to be all that compelling.
No, probably not.
It could be though.
I mean,
because
sure.
Hannibal did just fine on NBC.
That's very true.
For as long as it was allowed to continue. But 3 seasons is pretty good for a show that shouldn't be on network TV to survive on network TV.
3 seasons is actually about the average time for any quote-unquote successful TV show in the industry. That's what's considered a success. I mean,
sure.
Everybody wants to shoot for that long-running, super long-running 9, 10, 11, 12 seasons, but frankly, that almost never happens. So 3 seasons is a very, very good run.
Yeah, that really should have been like Netflix or Showtime, I feel.
Or even Hulu could maybe picking it up after they canceled it.
Sure. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's also possibly a Star Wars TV show in the works called Star Wars Underground, and it's going to focus more on the world, the seedy underbelly, as it were, of the Star Wars galaxy, dealing with the smugglers and bounty hunters and things along those lines, which could be okay.
Yeah.
But they're looking at it for ABC, and I just don't see it there. But we'll see. Again, that's definitely something that Netflix should pick up.
True, but if they got script writers with the same capabilities that worked on Force Awakens, I would argue that they could still make it work. I mean,
they've actually already written them.
Oh, have they? So is it the same people that worked
50 some odd episodes already in the can?
And is this the
well,
same
not in the
that
can. I'm sorry.
worked?
Scripts written.
Okay, so we have the scripts written. Are these the same people that did The Force Awakens, or is this a different team? What's the news on that?
It's actually kind of being described as Deadwood in space.
Okay.
Which could be good.
That'd be very good. Yeah. And I'm asking if it's the same team just because
No.
The people that wrote The Force Awakens, I think, did a very good job of skating through a couple of scenes with varying layers to where the kids would just see one thing happening and the adults see another thing happening. I thought they did really well with that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I thought it was really well done.
Yes.
The internet hates it, but
It's
The
the
internet
internet.
can suck it.
The internet can. Yeah, I'm just going to stop that thought right there. That's the internet's job. But I thought, as we've discussed before, we really liked it, and if they could get that, if they wind up on a channel that makes them kind of pull it back a notch, and they still have that level of writing working for them, I think they could definitely make that happen.
Well, I mean, now that whole project with Star Wars Underworld was put into motion before Disney bought Star Wars, and Disney is all about putting their stuff out there.
Sure.
I mean, look at the toys and the marketing and just like that whole juggernaut going with Star Wars.
Absolutely.
So, hey, who knows? Maybe it'll go to the Disney Channel. It won't go to the Disney Channel.
Let's just make that clear right now.
It's not going to happen.
I think there was
just like the Marvel shows are not on the Disney Channel.
Yeah, probably not going to be a thing.
Yeah. So I mean, Netflix is probably where it would end up now, given the success that Disney's had with Marvel on Netflix.
Sure.
Probably the way to go.
That would be a smart thing to do, but we'll see. We'll see where it'll be interesting
Especially
to see where
if it's
it
going to
lands. Yeah,
darker.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, we shall see.
And speaking of Star Wars, I think they let another bit of news about
Star Wars. Star Wars
Drop this week.
episode 8 got delayed. 6 months?
Yes, from May to December 2017.
That could have been a financial thing though, because they did really, really well with the holiday bump on
they did
on their release.
Well, and the other bit that I read as far as debate about why they did that is they might have been trying to avoid competing with themselves, because May is also the month that their new Pirates of the Caribbean movie is dropping in 2017.
Oh.
They might not have wanted. Those are both Disney franchises. They might.
Yeah, they could have cannibalized each other's box office.
Absolutely. So that they might have just been. There you go.
I'm good.
He got it up, folks. It's fine.
Yep.
So yeah, they might not have just been wanting to damage their own box office returns, which is smart.
That's true. So speaking of Marvel and their deals with Netflix, Jessica Jones has gotten renewed for a second season. Not a surprise.
No.
That is excellent. And The Punisher has already been greenlit for their own series. And The Punisher, for those of you not familiar with the Marvel Universe, or the really terrible movies that have been put out, he is a character that's going to be introduced in season 2 of Daredevil, and then he's going to spin off into his own show. And all of these shows take place in the same world.
Exactly.
Actually, in the same part of New York City. Yeah. So, just as Luke Cage was introduced in Jessica Jones, and he'll have his own show. The night nurse, Rosario Dawson, the actress, she was introduced in Daredevil. She was in Jessica Jones, and she is going to be the love interest in Luke Cage. So they're doing a really good job of creating a mini universe inside of New York City on Netflix.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and we've talked about that because it's very complex interwoven relationship. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that, because I know there was some backlash against the Punisher movie when that came out. In defense of the movie, I didn't think it was as bad as people said it was. Again, the internet hated it.
It wasn't as bad as the first one.
The first one was bad. The more recent
Dolph Lundgren.
one, Dolph Lundgren was his sorry guy. It didn't work.
Who was the guy in the new one?
Thomas Jane, right?
Thomas Jane, yeah.
Thomas Jane.
That's right.
I didn't think that movie was bad. I mean, it was kind of, apparently I was in the minority on that. I didn't dislike it as much as a lot of people did, apparently. So there's that.
So there is that. Another couple things that look like they're getting renewed is Making a Murderer,
Yes.
and also The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, which I find to be very funny.
Yes.
So, have you seen it?
Only a couple episodes, but yes, it's funny.
It's
stuff.
silly.
It's good times.
Yeah.
Silly is a good word for it. Silly is a good word.
A couple things to look out for. There's the first official Suicide Squad trailer out there.
Excellent use of Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, if I do say so myself.
Agreed. And if you are on Xbox One, I believe this is the last day that EA Access is for free. Maybe it may go through Sunday. It may go through tomorrow. But it was free this week, and it's a cool service. I mean, if you have time to play games and you like their games, it's $5 a month or $30 a year. At $30 a year, I don't know why anybody would do the $5 a month, because like even $30 is kind of like, oh, I'll try it out for $30.
Sure.
You know, and you get full access. They have full games in their vault, and those are things like Battlefield 4, Battlefield Hardline, Dragon Age Origins.
Yeah.
And a bunch of their sports titles. It's not their newest things, but then their newest things, of course, they're going to try to sell you for full retail.
True.
Or maybe not, because let's see, I think you get a week, like 5 to 10 days, somewhere in there, with their new releases before actual release.
Okay.
And so you can try them out before you buy them. And I think you get 10% off buying them digitally through the Xbox One. And this is only available on Xbox One. This isn't a PS4 or PC thing.
True.
So if you buy your games digitally and you love EA stuff, especially the sports line, then it's kind of a no-brainer.
Sure.
As you make that $30 up pretty quickly whenever you're buying digital and saving the money.
Cool.
So sweet.
There you go.
Let's see. I think that's about it for news.
Yeah, that about wraps it up for me.
Well, let's get into the weekly watches.
Okay.
Erin, what you listening to this week?
This week, a little bit of the monophonics.
What's a monophonics?
It's a fun little, my Will introduced me to this, and, they had a remake or, their own version of, oh God, what's the name of the song? It's bad radio for me to sit here and think about it. So I will get back to you on that if it does happen to pop back into my head. But the album I was listening to is In Your Brain, which I was quite enjoying. And of course, to nobody's surprise anywhere, I've been listening to Black Star by David Bowie a lot this week, which I would like to add hit #1 in the U.S. for his first #1 album in the U.S. in the history of his career.
Really? That's a surprise.
He's had songs, but never full albums.
That hit that well.
Yep. So
all right.
It's been a lot of that for me.
Awesome.
Yes. How about you, sir?
Let's see. I've been listening to some Common Sense with Dan Carlin. Also listening to Gamer Tag Radio. I tried out a new podcast this week called Amish Baby Machine.
Of course.
Because of course. Just a couple of the podcasters that follow me both followed these people, and so I was like, "Oh, okay. Well,
that's fantastic. Where you got the reference from, but you can't just throw out the title "Amish Baby Machine" and then
I totally can. Totally can. Only listened to about half of the most recent episode, and the first part. I mean, they just talk about things that they're interested in, kind of like we do.
Okay.
But they talked about cooking for a while.
All right.
So, they're funny guys, though.
They get an award for name or idea, great idea for titles, attention-catching titles.
Most definitely. Yeah, so that was about it for what I've been listening to. Oh, no, I've been listening to / watching a bunch of Walk Off the Earth this week. They put out another new cover song of Adele's Hello.
Okay.
And it's really entertaining.
Nice.
It's really entertaining. You know those little tubes that just swing around and they make different sounds?
Sure.
Well, they had like some of those of varying lengths, and so they were actually able to play some of the music for the song.
It's amazing what talented people can do.
Yeah, and they're all so talented. It kind of makes you want to hate them a little bit. They're just ridiculously talented. Yeah, so good for them. And that's all I've been listening to this week.
Okay.
Do you want to get into the what you watching?
Sure.
Well, fire away, Erin.
Okay, I will, Geoff. This week, a little bit, Mythbusters has started their final season, so I know I cannot believe that life, for the first time in 14 years, is going to be bereft of Adam and Jamie.
Yeah, what's the other science show?
There are several at this point.
Yeah.
What was the theme? Was it a clip show, an explodey theme? What were you thinking?
No, it was the same kind of thing. It was like Mythbusters, where they did sciencey stuff. And yes, they blew up things.
I know what you're talking about, and I can't think...
They've been promoting it a lot lately, and I think it's because...
They're wanting it to fill that...
void. Yeah.
And I should probably give them a chance and watch them. And again, I can't think of... I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the title. It's two guys blowing shit up, in the name of science again. And the reason I hadn't really tuned into it was because when they first put the show on the air, they were literally doing all these stories that Adam and Jamie had already visited 10 years ago. I mean, it was the exact same things.
Right.
I think they've branched out since then, which is good because they seem like they're entertaining guys that are, good on television and whatnot. But I was a little put off by the fact that they were like, oh, we have this new show and we're doing this. Great. I saw that 10 years ago. And they probably, Adam and Jamie probably did it a little better. But,
sure.
I've heard that they branched out and have kind of been finding their own footing, so maybe I should go back and give them a chance.
Well, it kind of reminds me, just kind of an odd thing. Do you remember that show Scam School?
No.
Okay, well, it was a guy mostly did like parlor tricks, sleight of hand stuff.
Okay.
I used to watch his show, and he just like randomly followed me on Twitter.
That's fantastic.
So I followed him back, and I was like, "Hey, I'm a fan. Like, thanks for the follow." So weird.
Excellent.
I get those every now and then, just like the random follows from different people. And I know it's not the person themselves; it's like their publicist, or they've hired one of those services that get you follows by like having you follow a bunch of things. But still, it's kind of interesting.
That is kind of
interesting. This is like a random nonsense. Like the guitar player or the keyboard player, the keyboard player from the Arsenio Hall show. Why? How are you even aware of my existence? I mean, yeah. So it's just, but it's not like they're crazy, super popular people. It's just random people.
Random people, but
random people.
You happen to know who they are.
Well, the guy who played Mr. Echo on Lost.
Yeah, that's what you said.
It's like, what?
What?
I don't get it.
Excellent.
No. Oh, and another small world situation kind of related to that. One of the guys from work said he was listening to Podcast Roulette or Pod Roulette or something like that.
Okay.
And he didn't know I did the show. We're not friends on Facebook or anything like that. And he came up to me and was like, I was listening to Pod Roulette today. The weirdest thing. You do a show, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's funny.
That is funny.
Yeah. So, but he started listening to it and then recognized my voice. I'm like, I work with that guy. So, interesting stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
One of your coworkers found you through the internet.
Yeah, so weird.
That's good.
I suppose.
Oh, yes. What were we doing? Watching. Hi. Watching. Let's see. The Daily Show, because you have to always watch The Daily Show.
True story.
And I think after last week, I just needed to laugh a lot. So really, outside of that, I've been binge watching Big Fat Quiz of the Year and The Mighty Boosh.
The Mighty Boosh?
Yes.
I was not aware of the Big Fat Quiz or The Mighty Boosh.
That's because you don't like British comedy as much as I do.
Oh, I do, though.
That's the thing. Okay, you know what?
I don't like British camp, and there is a difference.
That's very true.
Love British comedy, and I love British drama. It's the camp that I'm not overly fond of.
Yeah, the Big Fat Quiz of the Year is kind of an annual quiz show that they do with 3 teams and the host presiding over the whole thing involving pop culture sort of nonsense that happened in the last year or so, and they rotate out who is on the 3 teams of 2. And the Mighty Boosh, I don't believe it's running anymore, and it hasn't been for a few years. It was Noel Fielding and Terrence. Oh, crud. I'm sorry, folks. Apparently I need more caffeine today. But, it was about this kind of vaguely surreal show about these 2 guys that work in a zoo and have their own band and are trying to break through in the music industry. And it's very odd and very funny. So.
Super cool.
Yeah. So, and Noel Fielding is also an occasional panelist on Big Fat Quiz of the Year. So apparently it's about Noel Fielding this week.
Awesome.
How about you?
Well, it has been a bad week for sleep, so it's a really good week for watching things.
There you go.
Mostly laying in bed, staring at my television because my eyes won't stay shut.
Because your brain is an asshole.
And overly loud this week. So more so than usual. So I watched some new stuff.
Okay.
And some stuff I've been watching for a while.
All right.
And several things with American in the name, oddly enough.
I see.
Yeah.
Did you seek out things with American in the title?
No, it just kind of worked out that way.
Okay.
So I watched some Family Guy.
Right.
And Hawaii Five-0 because it's bubblegum. It's a crime of the week, and actually it's like crimes of the week because they usually have 2 different things going on, like their teams split up and they solve crimes very fast.
It is impressive.
It's like things are always moving on that show. There's no downtime, so it's kind of fun. Finished up Heroes Reborn. Terrible.
No, just no.
So 13 episodes of no. Like, oh, you know what? The original series had some good things to it. Maybe this will be no.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of characters that they brought over from the original, but meh.
Okay. Too bad.
Yep. Watched some Elementary, also bubblegum. But I really enjoy that. Johnny Lee Miller and Lucy Liu.
Yeah.
It's
a good show. It's good. It's just not priority, I guess. If that makes sense.
Yeah. It's whenever I happen to catch an episode.
Exactly.
Big Bang Theory. Watching that.
Like you do.
Makes me laugh from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Not every episode makes me laugh.
But some of them.
Some of them.
Enough
yeah.
Of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And the new shows that I've been watching this week. Shades of Blue. I will not be revisiting that.
Okay.
It's about a police officer who gets caught in a corruption scandal, and then she's turned against the rest of her corrupt crew by the FBI. And
apparently it has Ray Liotta, who I was happy to see, but apparently not enough to watch the show.
Right. And the main character is Jennifer Lopez. Mm-hmm. So it's just not great. But I didn't expect it to be great. I just thought, well, it could be okay.
I'm awake. I may as well.
Right. There's a show called Second Chances that I'm enjoying a little bit more, and it is also a spin because so many of these shows that are on, like Elementary, where someone with particular insight or capabilities helps the FBI or some other law enforcement agency solve crime.
Okay.
Yeah, like The Mentalist and Elementary, and there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, that's definitely popular right now.
Yeah, Minority
Report.
Minority Report, and I don't know. There's a bunch of them. Anyway, so what's happened in this one is there was this old sheriff who was indicted for corruption and run out of office, that kind of thing. He's old. He gets killed, and this Mark Zuckerberg type character, Elon Musk type character, is trying to save his sister, and this cop has a particular genetic marker, so they bring him back from the dead, and he's a younger, much more powerful version of himself.
It just occurred to me I might have had a vaguely confused look on my face right now.
Yeah, it's a little sad. So they're using his blood to treat the sister, but he's a lawman, so he's helping his grown son, who's in the FBI, solve crimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's happening, apparently.
And then what was the other one? Oh, Colony.
Okay.
Some kind of invasion, and the this guy is caught trying to pass one of the borders, and he's being coerced by the. They don't say who's invaded, but you kind of get the feeling that's an alien invasion.
Yeah, that's kind of the impression I got.
And so the human authority has coerced the main character into trying to hunt down the insurgency, and of which his wife is a member.
Okay.
So there's that.
Okay.
So lots of lies being told
to many people.
Yeah. And then for the things with the American in the name.
American in the title.
American Horror Story. All done with that.
All right.
It was a much happier ending than normal.
All right. Yeah, we have 2 episodes away
Oh,
from
so sorry.
the ending. Yeah,
okay.
So no, it's fine.
I won't go into details. It wasn't as dark and messed up as the rest of the show or the rest of the seasons.
Okay.
So there's that. And then American Crime, who is they're doing the same thing as American Horror Story. They've got a new story this season,
right?
But they're recycling a handful of the actors from season 1.
True.
So there's that. And then today I watched American Ultra.
Okay.
With Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart and Topher Grace.
Sure.
Is that right?
I have no idea.
Guy from that 70s show?
There was a guy named Topher Grace in that 70s show,
okay.
So it's entirely possible that's correct.
Yeah. But it was fun. It was entertaining. It was pretty violent.
Okay.
So a kind of hapless, pot-smoking guy that had been part of an ultra program, like chemical reprogramming, and he gets activated, and there you go.
And shenanigans ensue.
He knows lots of combat stuff and weapon stuff and
neat
things like that. So cool. There's that, and then other couple things that I watched, and I watched bits and pieces because sometimes I had it on whenever I was falling asleep, and sometimes I had it on while I was doing other things. But I watched David Bowie 5 Years and David Bowie and the Story of Ziggy Stardust.
Cool.
So both pretty good.
Nice.
Like documentary type things.
Type stuff about Mr. Bowie.
For sure. And I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good. And I'm probably going to revisit that and watch them in their entirety.
Cool.
So, that's about it.
Okay. Nice.
Is it time for Tales from the Wasteland?
Probably so, except for this week I can actually say there's one other thing.
Ooh.
That I was
what else have you played?
It's a game called Never Alone.
I have heard of this.
It's really interesting.
On Game Tag Radio, they were talking about it.
Yeah, it's
tell me things. Tell me stories.
It's a platformer done in the north, and a young boy from an Inuit tribe and his dog basically have to get through, puzzle levels on a platform game, and that's really all I'll say about, and that sums it up pretty much.
Was this on Games for Gold?
I believe so. Yes, that's where we picked it up.
Okay, perfect.
And as a bonus, one of the things you can do is you can unlock these short films of actual First Nation people talking about their traditions that were put into the video game.
Well, that's neat.
It's fascinating, yeah. And so if it's still on Games for Gold, or even if it's not, I recommend you pick it up because it's
it's an indie title. I think you'll probably be able to find it, even if you have to pay for it. It'll only be like $10 to $20.
Yeah, and it's really well done. It looks really good. It's very atmospheric, and you actually learn without feel like it's being shoved at you or anything. And it's fascinating. So good stuff.
Yeah. So, Erin, tell me stories. Tales from the Wasteland. What do you have? What do you have? Any funny little things?
I had to build stairs to get to Preston Garvey because he was standing on the roof of a house.
Because of course he was. How did they get up there?
I don't know, but it's the same place we keep finding our Brahmin, and I don't know what the hell is so fascinating with those roofs in Sanctuary, but apparently they're the place to be. But the Brahmin are actually polite enough to come down when you want them to.
Yeah, and the thing is, they're not on top of a roof of a house that you build. It's an existing
house
structure
that they wind up on top of. And the one time I didn't want the one time I wanted Preston Garvey in my face, as opposed to all the other times he's popping up when you don't want him, I couldn't get to him. So fortunately I was able to build some stairs to reach him. And other than that, I've been spending a lot of time running around shooting people with Strong. Because Strong entertains me quite a lot.
I have not met Strong.
Strong is a super mutant.
Okay.
That can become one of your companions.
Okay.
And he's just entertaining. The more he starts trusting you, he just has an interesting way of looking at things, being a super mutant. They make it very clear in that game that super mutants really do believe that, in their minds, they are the superior life form in the wasteland. So it's interesting traveling with him for that reason.
They're not entirely wrong.
They're not. I mean, they might not always be the cleverest things, but they are the biggest and the fastest and the strongest. And when it's survival of the fittest, that's what counts.
There you go.
How about you? What you got going on?
I've been having some fun with it. I mean, I'm running into some difficulties progressing the main storyline because I've started doing that now, and I'm not sure why. There's a conversation that apparently I need to have that I can't seem to prompt with Preston Garvey.
All right, that's
to advance the main storyline. So I may have actually found a game-breaking glitch. So we'll see.
Normally that's my job. If you did, congratulations.
I know.
Congratulations.
Because I've read through the main storyline and I've completed Acts 1 and 2 of the main story. Okay. And I can't seem to initiate Act 3.
Huh.
There are some entertaining things that I've done lately. There's a side quest called The Last Voyage of the USS Constitution.
Yeah, I did that one also.
The resolution of that quest is pretty entertaining.
It's pretty entertaining. And if you have Strong with you while you're doing that, Strong doesn't like robots who can't figure out. So you're dealing with robots, and that's all I'll say about it. But I've got a super mutant grumbling about not being able to crush the robots over here, and the robots doing their thing over here. So it was pretty fantastic.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah, and it's just really entertaining. Yeah, a weapon I probably won't ever use. I wish you could hold over weapons from one character to another because a lot of the legendary weapons, not like the quest rewards, but the other ones, I think they're at least somewhat randomly generated.
It feels that way. I don't know that for sure, but that's what it feels like.
Yeah, and there are some of those weapons that I would love to keep forever.
Forever and ever.
Forever and ever.
They make me happy.
Some weirdness with Fallout 4 that kind of it's not that it bugs me. I make fun of it while it happens, is, Preston Garvey will say, like, oh, I just got word from one of these settlements, and they're having trouble. You need to go help them out. And it's the settlement that we're both standing in.
Yeah.
Whenever Sanctuary Hills needs help, and that kind of annoys me. He's like, oh, you got to go help them out and make sure that they know you're from the Minutemen. And then you go over
he lives next door to me. I'm pretty sure he knows that I'm the Minutemen.
He's standing over there smoking a cigarette looking at us right now.
I mean, this guy standing right next to me? This guy here?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm the Minutemen. Okay, I got it. Come on it.
And then you go over there and you're like, you're looking back at Preston. You're like, this guy. You can go over to the quest giver, and the quest giver is like, are you from the Minutemen? Apparently, Preston isn't the only idiot here. Yes, I'm from the Minutemen. And yes, I will help you so that they don't come and burn down my house. Which is right
next
there.
To yours. In fact, we sleep in the same house.
Yeah.
Because that's where our beds are.
And then
have you ever gotten
the resolution of those quests is just as bad, because you'll walk up and they have a proximity response thing. Like, oh, were you able to take care of those super mutants? And you walk up and you're like, I took care of those super mutants for you. Like, I know, I just asked. You could have just said yes.
Well, see, that could be a field, like kind of something that evens out the playing field, because now they think you're an idiot asshole too. It's not just you thinking that about them.
It's just a weird thing to have made it like into the full game.
Sure.
It was like, you know what? We should probably at least vary some of those canned responses, and if they're going to ask us if we've finished the quest, when we finish the quest, then you shouldn't walk up like, hey, by the way, I did that.
Did that thing you asked me about. Now, have you gotten that response? Very similar, prompt kind of response where you're talking to Preston Garvey, you turn in, you basically lob the quest finish at him from across the room and run so that you don't get another one. And you turn around, you're trying to sprint out of Sanctuary, and you run right into the quest giver that he was going to send you anyway. They stop you and say, my friend was kidnapped by super mutants. You're standing there going, damn it.
I know. It's a good thing I set up all these guns and security points for people to get kidnapped out of my own town.
Yeah, of course that happens everywhere though, because I've got so much security set up around some of these settlements. I'm going, your security is 197. How are these raiders still getting in here? And none of these guns are damaged. What happened precisely?
He didn't get kidnapped from here, did he?
He went out there again. After we told him not to 5 different times. If we told Johnny once not to go out there, we told him 6 times, but he just went out there.
He took his sleeping bag outside of the range of the guns and took a nap.
He saw something shiny out there and went to get it, and now the Raiders have him.
Yeah. So, there are definitely some Bethesda weirdness items in the game and situations, but, it's still awesome. There's still some of the best games out there, even with all of their quirkiness and broken bits. It's just still so enjoying.
Tune in to see if he's still saying that next week when he still hasn't gotten Preston to talk to him.
Well, then I will have started a new game by then.
New character.
So
darn.
Yeah.
My arm.
I've seen some little glitches out there and exploits, and if this game is truly broken, then I'll probably start playing with those. Since it's already broken, then may as well. Otherwise, I'm going to start a new character and play with them, because apparently there's a duplication glitch out there that works on the UR special book.
Okay.
So you could actually max out all of your special things and then play the game from there.
Wow.
And duplicating resources, like the shipments of copper, shipments of cloth and stuff like that.
Shipments of glass.
Yeah, those kind of things that you can duplicate them. So I may start messing with that if my game is truly broken. I usually stay away from that stuff. Yeah. But I've been so interested in those kind of things that I was actually toying with the idea of picking up the PC version.
Nice.
So that I could play with mods and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
But mods are coming to the Xbox and PS4 version, so it's just a matter of when. We don't know.
We don't know yet. But you will know when we know.
Yeah. But I've had some fun things going on. I got a legendary shotgun at one point that I upgraded, and now it's just ridiculously powerful. But the game offsets that by me not being able to find shotgun ammo anywhere.
Oh. Tricky.
So that kind of sucks. Yeah. But it's been upgraded to do like 80 or 90 points of damage.
Okay.
Which is a lot on its own.
Yeah.
But then it has a 25-point bleed on it.
Ooh.
And so I can shoot most things once and then just go on about my business and collect XP because they just die.
They die.
You walk past them and they're like, hey, come back. Oh. They just die.
Fantastic.
I mean, you can watch their health bar just drain.
Nice. I don't. My awesome shotgun doesn't do that, but it causes an explosion. I mean, like it.
That's
the ammo explodes on impact. Basically.
Oh, nice.
That's
a good
cool.
one too.
You have to be careful with your companions though, because if your companions are getting right up in the bad guy's face, you kind of hose them with it too. But
yeah,
they get over it. I throw a stim pack at them and they forgive me, so it's all good.
Yeah. It's really nice because like high-end legendary creatures, I can usually shoot them really quickly 3 times, boom, 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 and it burns through their first health and their second health bar.
Wow. Yeah, that like you said, that is game-breakingly effective.
Yeah, I mean, I still get hurt, you know, but because, you know, you're remarkably fragile. Well, probably
compared to a lot of the stuff that the Wasteland has grown while you were sitting in your pod. Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're pretty fragile. But I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, I've been working on the main quest line and trying not to be so distracted by the settlements because I have 2 pages of settlements now. Yeah. I've actually found 2 settlements that I haven't been sent to yet that I'd love to add into the fold, but I can't use the workshops there because I'm not allied with the settlement. 2 pretty good ones actually. One's in the middle of a city, and very well situated.
That would be nice.
Yeah, kind of cool.
Yep.
That's about it.
All right. Lots
of Fallout. I mean, we don't normally ever talk about things that are happening while we're playing Fallout. We just say we're playing it, give each other that knowing look. So, you know, it's just
we'll
to throw out a little something to
share the Wasteland shenanigans with you folks.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
But that's it. I think we're done. There's another show. 360.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
It is.
That's a lot of shows.
It is a lot of shows.
A lot of shows. We are coming up on 7 years.
Yep. Well,
it never works out with the number of shows that we've done is actually more than the year anniversary, because the year anniversary should be March 9th or something like that.
Okay.
Right around first or second week of March should be our 7-year anniversary, but just doing the math in my head, that would be this show.
Okay. Interesting.
Is that 52 times 7 is 360?
Don't throw random math at me and expect me to
I don't know. Anyway,
figure this out.
It's pretty close.
I am not that smart.
I'm sure my one-off math is wrong, but but that happens every year. It's somewhere in between the first of the year and the actual anniversary that it always seems to work out show-wise, and I'm not sure why. Because we did our specials, we didn't number. They were.
That's probably why. You didn't number the specials. All right.
Okay. Well, that's a show. Thank you guys for watching and listening. We will see you next week.
Indeed.
Okay. Bye.